Okay, so let's unpack this. We're diving into a universe that's all about sand, Byzantine politics, and a drug that basically controls everything.
Everything. Time, space, the economy. Today, we're doing the ultimate deep dive into Frank Herbert's Dune.
And our mission here isn't just to, run through the plot.
No, not at all. We want to get at the surprising, often hidden messages Herbert packed into this thing. Messages about ecology, colonialism, and the very, very real danger of, well, heroes.
You really can't even start this conversation without looking at the dedication in the book. It tells you everything.
He really does.
He doesn't dedicate it to his family or his editor. He dedicates it to dryland ecologists, wherever they may be in whatever time they work.
And that's the Rosetta Stone, isn't it? It tells you right from the jump, this isn't just a space adventure, it's serious climate fiction.
He was pretty explicit about it, too. He said he wanted Dune to be an environmental awareness handbook.
And get this, some sources say he even chose the title Dune because he wanted it to echo the sound of doom.
Oof. That sets a tone. So the setting for this Dune is the planet Arrakis.
Right. A place so harsh it's almost impossible to live on, but it's the only place in the entire universe you can get the spice melange.
The substance that makes everything else possible. So let's get specific. What does the spice actually do? Because it's a lot.
It does three huge interconnected things. First, and this is something the movies don't always emphasize, it has geriatric properties.
So it extends your life.
Dramatically. It's the anti-aging drug for the entire galactic elite.
Okay, second.
Second, it's an addiction that has a very visible sign. The eyes of Ebad, that deep blue-on-blue color you see in the eyes of the Fremen.
That's the telltale sign you're a heavy user.
And there's no going back. Withdrawal is lethal. But the third function is the real game changer. It's psychotropic.
It lets you see the future.
In a limited way, yes. It gives the Spacing Guild navigators just enough prescience to see the safe paths through folded space. Without it, they can't navigate.
So no spice, no interstellar travel, period.
The entire galactic economy, the whole concept of the Imperium, it all grinds to a halt. The Guild's monopoly on travel makes them the universe's central bank. They hold everyone hostage.
An absolute single point of failure.
The ultimate supply chain vulnerability.
So with that resource in the middle, let's talk about the political structure built on top of it. It's like a three-legged stool.
A very fragile one. First, you have the Padishah Emperor, Shedem IV of House Carino. His power isn't really from wealth, it's from his army.
The Sardaukar.
His Sardaukar. An army so tough, so brutally effective, they're seen as basically unbeatable.
But he can't just do whatever he wants.
No, because he's checked by the second leg of the stool, the Landsraad. That's the big assembly of all the other great houses.
Kind of like United Nations with armies.
Exactly. One house can't stand against the emperor, but all of them together. Their combined military might keeps him from becoming an absolute tyrant.
And the third leg.
The Spacing Guild. They're the ones tying it all together. They're neutral, they don't take sides, because they control all the travel for everyone.
And all the money flows through an organization called Shincho.
Right. Think of Shinto as the engine room of the whole empire. A massive corporation that everyone, the emperor included, has shares in.
So if you control the spice production on Arrakis,
You increase your influence in Shimon, which means you get more political power. It all comes back to the spice.
and that rising power is exactly why House Atreides gets sent to Arrakis in the first place.
It's the central conflict. Duke Leto Atreides, who's a pretty popular and noble leader, gets assigned the planet. He's taking it over from his old enemies, the Harkonnens.
But the Emperor sees Leto's popularity in the Landsraad as a threat.
A massive threat to his throne. So the whole assignment is a trap. The Emperor secretly promises to help the Harkonnens wipe out House Atreides. He even lends them his own Sardaukar troops, disguised as Harkonnens.
And the worst part is, Duke Leto knows it's a trap.
He knows, but he has to go. If he refuses a direct order from the Emperor, he's an outlaw, and he loses everything anyway. It's a brilliant political checkmate.
It is. But okay, let's move past the palace intrigue, because that's really just the surface layer. The real story is the planet itself.
The ecological heart of the desert. This is Herbert's core message.
I mean, the source is called Dune, the first planetary ecology novel on a grand scale.
Right.
The environment isn't just the setting, It is the plot.
And it came from a real place. Herbert got the idea from a journalism assignment he was on in the 1950s.
Right, in Oregon.
In Oregon, yeah. He was reporting on how the government was trying to stop these huge sand dunes from swallowing up coastal towns by planting beach grass.
So he was literally watching a small-scale terraforming project.
He was. And he was also heavily influenced by some of his Native American mentors who told him they feared that white men are eating the earth.
Wow.
Herbert took that idea that we're turning our own world into a big dune and just expanded it to a galactic scale.
The genius of it, though, is the paradoxical link between the environment on Arrakis and the economy. They are locked in this death grip.
A total death grip. The spice is a byproduct of the giant sandworms, Shai-Hulud.
And their life cycle depends on the planet being a desert.
Exactly. Their larval stage, the sand trout, they seal off all the water deep underground. They are the reason Arrakis is so arid.
Which brings us to the great irony of the Fremen, the native people of the desert.
You're right. I mean, these are people who have built their entire culture around conserving every last drop of water. Their deepest, most spiritual goal is to one day terraform Arrakis.
To make it a lush, green paradise.
But if they succeed,
they kill the sandworms.
they kill the worms, they destroy the spice, and the entire galactic civilization that they want to control just collapses.
Their victory is their defeat. It's a perfect metaphor.
It's an incredible environmental metaphor.
Yeah.
A society built on unsustainable extraction will eventually be destroyed by it, one way or another.
And you can see why film adaptations sometimes struggle with this part. It's so complex.
It's really hard to show on screen. I mean, the Villeneuve movies do a great job of connecting the visuals to climate change and survival,
For sure.
but the camera loves the desert, right? It looks beautiful, sublime, epic. And that can sometimes risk making the desolation look appealing instead of showing it as the result of a broken ecosystem.
The book can spend pages on the water cycle. A film has to do it in a few shots.
Although I did like the visual shorthand of Baron Harkonnen bathing in that vat of black oil.
Oh, that was great.
You can't get much more direct than that for an oil analogy. And the Baron himself is the perfect segue into the story's other big critique.
The decay of empire.
Absolutely. The whole Imperium is rotting from the inside out, just like the Roman or Ottoman empires. It's decaying from luxury.
And you see that in the two main antagonists,
Yeah.
the Emperor and the Baron.
The Emperor, Shaddam IV, has become totally ineffective because of all the ceremony and pomp. He's surrounded by sycophants, not advisors.
He's gone soft.
Completely. And Baron Harkonnen is the physical manifestation of that rot. He's grotesquely indulgent, corrupt, only cares about short-term profit and his own comfort.
And that's their weakness. The Freemen, who are the complete opposite, austere, communal, self-sacrificing, they become better warriors.
They're better warriors than even the Sardaukar. Their culture of scarcity makes them stronger than an empire drowning in its own excess.
So while the men in power are decaying, there's this other force working in the shadows, playing the long game.
The Bene Gesserit.
The Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. They are not passive players here.
Not at all. They are the puppet masters. They do it through this intense mental and physical training.
Like the Prana Bindu control.
Total control over every muscle and nerve in their bodies. They can filter poisons, withstand incredible pain, and of course, they have the voice.
The voice. That's the ability to control people just by changing the tone of your voice.
It's a form of sonic compulsion, a subtle weapon that makes them incredible political players. But their real power, their ultimate tool,
Is the breeding program.
it's a centuries-long genetic engineering project. They're managing bloodlines across the great houses to create a super being.
The Kwisatz Haderach. A male Bene Gesserit who can see everywhere, past, present, and future.
And their whole plan is about to come to fruition. But it all hinges on one act of rebellion. Lady Jessica, Duke Leto's concubine, and a Bene Gesserit herself.
She was ordered to have a daughter.
She was. A daughter who'd be bred with the Harkonnen heir to finally produce the Kwisatz Haderach.
But out of love for the Duke, she has a son instead. She has Paul.
And that one choice, that personal act of love and defiance, throws their entire multi-century plan into chaos. It accelerates everything and basically kicks off the whole story.
And her son, Paul, becomes this prophesied messiah figure for the Fremen. But this is where Herbert flips the script, because this chosen one, he's the real danger.
This is the absolute core theme of the entire saga. It's a warning. Paul is, a young man from the ruling class, a white man who fulfills what some analyses call a persistent colonial fantasy.
He goes native and becomes their god king.
Exactly. And even though Paul earns his powers, he goes through immense pain and struggle. Herbert's goal is not to celebrate him.
Not at all.
Frank Herbert was deeply, deeply suspicious of charismatic leaders. He has this one quote that says it all. He said, "Messiahs are catastrophes for the species."
A catastrophe. That's a powerful word choice. So how does the story show that?
By showing the consequences. Paul gains the ability to see the future, and he sees the horrifying path ahead. A galactic jihad, a holy war fought in his name that will scorch the universe.
And he tries to stop it.
He tries desperately to find a path around it, but he can't.
Yeah.
The movement he starts becomes a force of nature that not even he can control.
You can't control the ways he created.
Precisely. The jihad kills billions of people. The later books are almost entirely about dealing with the fallout of his victory. It's a brutal cautionary tale against putting your faith in a single leader, no matter how gifted they seem.
So it all comes together. The resource wars, the decaying empire, the genetic scheming, it all leads to creating a Messiah who unleashes not salvation, but a galaxy-spanning holocaust.
It's an amazing synthesis, and you can see all these influences poured into it. The Freeman culture borrows heavily from Arabic and Middle Eastern sources, but the philosophy has Zen in it, maybe even some psychedelic influences with the whole fungal life cycle of the spice.
That blending is what makes it feel so real, and
Yeah.
it puts it in direct opposition to some other sci-fi classic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at a series like Asimov's Foundation,
Right.
it's the philosophical opposite of Dune.
In Foundation, the solution to a falling empire is this grand technocratic plan, psychohistory.
It's all about mathematics and planning and steering humanity. The motto is basically, trust the plan.
And Dune is the rebuttal to that.
It's the ultimate rebuttal. It says that any grand plan, any institutional control, and especially any single all-powerful leader will inevitably lead to tyranny and disaster.
You can't just manage the future with a formula.
Or a hero.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to take with you. If Frank Herbert's whole point was that messiahs are catastrophes for the species, what's our responsibility when we consume these stories? Especially when adaptations often have to focus on the exciting hero's journey, sometimes at the expense of those deeper, darker critiques.
So next time you watch, just ask yourself, are you celebrating a hero? Or are you watching the beginning of a catastrophe?